Yo, 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 yo. We got two heavyweight greats going at it right now. This is crazy. We got the legendary great Mike Tyson versus the more recent great and Deontay Wilder. Now, as we all know, Mike Tyson is just like uncomparable as far as legacy goes. However, I still give credit where it's due with Deontay Wilder. And they have a back and forth going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand where Deontay Wilder is coming from when he says some of these statements that I'm about to pull up to you guys via Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And I kind of just want to make a statement saying that, sometimes it's not for everybody to say. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's hard to tell somebody that they shouldn't be fighting because of age when you just came off of like a two knockout loss in your last two fights. And then before fighting Helios, you ended up losing to Tyson in a knockout as well. And then, you know what I'm saying? Basically, like your last 5 fights, you got knocked out like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I get what Wilder's saying, especially if he's concerned for real. But I'll elaborate on it more after I show you these tweets. Now let's get to it. Alright, and here it is. He says, Mike Tyson on Deontay Wilder saying he's concerned about him because he's too old to fight Jake Paul. So here goes Mike Tyson and his response. He says, then let Mike get hurt. You don't have to worry about paying my bills. Everyone says this makes no sense, but he's how old? He's not who I am. He can't go to Mongolia and have somebody know who the he is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Tyson one time. You already know what's up. So yeah, man, I want to give a big shout out to Mike Tyson and Deontay Wilder. Both greats, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what he meant by the Mongolia thing and people know him there. Maybe it's just because of how big of a name and how relevant he still is till today. You know what I'm saying? That people will still come out and watch him. But I know it's obvious that Deontay's more talking about not his age as far as his fame goes, but more of his age as far as his health goes. It is what it is, but before I actually elaborate to it, let me hold up. Let you know what it is. It's VIC SZN Sports. Oh, okay. There was some. Let's see what's going on. Okay, sun was slowing up. My bad. This is the universal favorite to fight fans from all nations. You're now tuning into VIC SZN Sports, the #1 source for combat news and creations. Let's go, baby. Toma, huepa, chacho, pa que sepa, puñeta. So yeah, this is like I mentioned before, I respect what Deontay Wilder's saying, and I understand the pride that someone like Mike Tyson has during this process of responding to Deontay Wilder and his statements. But with Deontay Wilder, I'll start with him, is that regardless if you are right or not, I think it's just there's a certain place for someone to say something. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's Deontay Wilder's place right now. And I do believe his main concern should be his career and seeing what he wants to do moving forward, because he just came off of a brutal loss. You know what I'm saying? And it was memed out. So it's kind of like bittersweet. Like we get what you're saying, but it's just coming from you. It's hard to accept that. You know what I'm saying? And then for Mike Tyson, in his behalf, I get what you're saying, but we're speaking about your health, Papa. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the great. We all know you to be this great. You know what I'm saying? Legendary. It's undeniable that he is, if not the GOAT of all time. You know what I'm saying? GOAT of all, greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, that being said, man, I'm not too sure what Mike Tyson's gonna exactly do. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that he doesn't take this fight just because he already is having struggle trying to make the fight when it was and they had to reschedule it. You know what I'm saying? It's for November now, a Netflix event, which I think would be fire. And especially the undercard being, Amanda Serrano versus Katie. I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, for Mike Tyson in that event, it's just gonna be hard to appreciate 100% just because we know he's not the same. Well, pretty close if you ask me. His training videos look crazy. We know he's gonna be able to deliver a punch. It's just, according to his age, will he be able to be as durable as he was when he was in his prime? You know what I'm saying? Or even a little bit off of his prime. So that's the real question. And he says it in the video himself in his post interview when he faced Roy Jones, and he said, "Why is everybody worried about him?" You know what I'm saying? I was getting hit too. Just like, he understands, especially at this time and age, that he's more human than ever. You know what I mean? He's still willing to challenge himself, but I felt like back in the day, he's seen himself more as an instructable individual when he stepped inside of that ring. And then when the fight was over, he's like still this, this savage dude. But now I think he understands that, taking certain punishment is not the same as it was back in the day. Now it hits a little bit more harder. So I'm really hoping that and I don't say this to be messed up. Maybe I shouldn't be nobody to be saying anything anyways, but me just as a person that's covering the sport, I would love to just see him do commentating even. Continue the podcast. I love it. You know what I mean? I think it's awesome. But regardless, if you do fight, I just wish your health the best regardless of how it goes. I would love for you to win that fight against Jake Paul. But my biggest concern is you not getting injured or, your health, being damaged from a fighter that doesn't even belong in the ring with you at all. Like, doesn't deserve it. Because you are a legend in everybody's eyes still. To this day. You know what I'm saying? Just like my guy, Deontay Wilder says, So, that being said, man, I'll end it on this quote. Deontay Wilder, I'm not sure if you should still come back either. Maybe you should consider retiring yourself. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm just saying out of their last 5 fights, I believe you got knocked out 4 of those times. And that's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? That's not good for your head. You know what I mean? That's too much damage. That could really hit you long term. And he says it in the interview himself when he knocked out Helios. He said, everybody thinks it's good now, but after he goes home and he heals, he may not ever be the same. I might have knocked out a few years off his life. And I believe he has to understand to apply that same type of energy to himself too. Because if you could give, you got to be able to receive it. And I think that's a quote an inspirational quote that was that I guess he was inspired to say from the Pritchard Cologne situation when Pritchard Cologne, I'm sure y'all know that story. It's pretty sad. If you don't know, go research. I actually have a video about it. So go check it out, man. But it started with that one, and then he elaborated saying, knocked years off his life. And him fighting Helios, he might not ever be the same after that. So I'm thinking it might be the same for you too, Wilder. And you may not be in no position to tell somebody else that they shouldn't fight no more if you haven't considered it for yourself either. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say.
Hold up.
This is the universal favorite to fight fans from all nations. Thank you for tuning in to VIC SZN Sports, the #1 source for combat news and creation, baby. You already know what's up.
Toma, hueva, chacho, pa' que sepa, puñeta.
Check y'all out. Peace.
Toma.